In this video, we will be seeing a C++ program in which we will be using the friend keyword with class and function. So we are going to use a friend class and a friend function in a C++ program. So I'm starting with the C++ program using include IOStream. So IOStream is the type in which cout and cin are present, and this IOStream type is present in the standard namespace, because of which we are writing the next line as using namespace std, that is we are using the namespace standard after including the IOStream type. And then I'm going to write the int main. And before main, I will be creating a class A. Now within the class A, I'm taking a data member int ID, and I will be declaring this int ID as private data member of class A. And I'm creating another class B, and in this class B, I'm going to use a function by name display. So I'm here using a function display in which I want to display ID. So I'm going to create here object of A class, and using the object of A class, I will be printing o.id. But as it is private member, we are going to get error. So let's see how to remove that error. Now in main, I'm going to create object of class B, and then using the same object, I'm going to call here the display function of class B. And after writing the class, we need to end the class with semicolon. So here display also to access in main, I'm declaring it as public. Now you can see the data member of class A ID is private, whereas the member function of class B is declared as public. And within the main, we are creating object of B class, and using that object of B class, we are calling the function display. So first, let's compile it to check for any errors. If there are any errors, let's see what are those. So A ID is private. So it is not giving access to ID in class B as it is private. So according to rules, the private members can be accessed only within that particular class in which they are declared. It cannot be used outside the class. But we can make this private accessible to B by making class B the friend class of A. So if class B is declared as friend of A, then B can access the private and protected members of class A. So now let's see how to make class B as friend of class A. So by using the friend keyword followed by the class keyword and the class name B. So friend class B, we are writing at the end of this class and semicolon. Now, as we have made class B as friend, now if I compile, so after compiling this program, if there are any errors in compile log, they will be displayed. Now we are not getting any errors or warnings, as class B is friend of class A and it can access the private member or members of class A. So class B, as it is friend of class A, it has access to private and protected members of class A, so it is able to access the ID and print it using the display function. Now, when I run the program, I get the value of ID as 90 displayed on output screen because of this display function. So this was about friend class in C++ program. So in this manner, we can use a friend class in C++. Now let's see how to use friend function. So here ID we are having, I'm going to take another variable. Let's take string name, and I'm assigning the name as value Ram. Now, as this string name is written under private access specifier, this is also a private member of class A. Now, after class B, I'm going to write a function, a user-defined function. I'm going to write here as void display. And as there is already a display in class B, to avoid confusion, I'm here taking the name as display2. And within this display2, I will be creating object of A class. And using this object of A class, I'm going to access the name. So name is already having the value, so we can directly display it using cout. So here in the display2 function, we are creating object of class A and we are using cout to display name. So after displaying ID, let's write endl so that name will appear in next line. So now if I compile, I will again get the same error that name is private and is not accessible by display2. So to access it in display2, we need to make the display2 function as friend of class A. So if we make this function as friend of class A, then we can access the private member or protected member of class A in any friend function or in any friend class. So as we have made class B as friend of class A, similarly, we can make this display2 friend of class A. So for that, again, we can use the friend function, friend keyword followed by void, and the function name is display2 like this. So by writing the function signature or prototype along with the friend keyword in the class A at the end of class A, we can make this function as friend of class A. Now if I compile, I get 0 errors or warnings, and when I run the program or execute the program, I will be getting the value 90. And as we did not call the function display in the main, display2 in the main, we are not getting the name printed. So here I'm calling display2 in the main, and when I again compile, I get 0 errors or warnings, and when I run, I'm getting the ID displayed and the name as RAM displayed on the output screen because of display and display2 respectively. So this way we can make use of friend function and a friend class in a C++ program.